What's up? Today I'm going to be talking about digging in Graal era. First off, we're going to talk about the shells. There's Atrocious, which is $3, and it's the most common shell you can find. Araletta, also $3, it's a little bit more rare. You got Sand Dollars and Scallops, which are $5 each, and you find them pretty often. And then you got the $7 Starfish, which are kinda rare to find, but you'll definitely find a few if you dig for a while. And when you dig up a shell, it's considered your property for about a few minutes, and then anyone can pick it up. So be sure to pick up all your shells after you dig. Now I'm going to talk about shovels. It costs $50 each, but most traders will sell them for $2 Atrocious each. And they'll break after a certain amount of uses if you dig in the sand or the grass. If you dig in the grass, you can spawn grass monsters, but they're not really worth digging. And when you dig in the sand, you can usually get 20 to 30 shells per shovel before it breaks. And it can't be used in the same spot twice, or in some areas. And if you can't dig there, a metal sound will play. And just a little bit of information. Shovels can't be sold used. The durability of a shovel is determined by the player holding it. You can make one shovel last forever if you just keep giving it to new players. Something to keep in mind. On the crabs, they come in 5 different colors, but they're the same every color. They can drop crab shells that are worth $6 each, and those shells usually drop above them and a little bit to the left. And they randomly spawn when you're digging in the sand. And the weird thing is, they have a variable health and damage, so each one you fight is different. And for crabs and any other NPC, they're invulnerable for a little bit of time after they get hit. So if somebody hits a crab with a starter knife and you hit it with a chainsaw, guess what? It only did 2 damage because of the invulnerability on it. Now, a huge debate is whether you should use melee weapons or guns to kill crabs. And melee weapons are usually quicker to take out, and they usually attack faster too. But guns let you hurt the crabs while you're running away, so you take less damage. But those crabs might go chasing after other players. And a note about guns, they always do their base damage. It doesn't matter on their condition. And weapons that have stacking damage, like shotguns or miniguns, will not stack. So you'll just hit like 3 and 3, slow. So here's a little example of melee weapons. Now as you see here, I got a fast candy cane katana, and it does 7 damage, but it's not killing it that fast. And then here with a chainsaw, it's pretty slow. It's just shredding through them. Now here's an example on guns. Got a strong 44 Magnum, and it killed it pretty quick. So watch what happens when I try and fight it with a minigun. See, it's barely doing anything. Now we'll talk about the purple aura you can get from fighting crabs. It's from attacking NPCs enough times in a short period of time, and it'll increase the damage dealt by 1 to 4. And it's a random pick number, Could be 1, could be 3, whatever. It only lasts a little bit of time. So when you stop glowing purple, it's over. And here's a little example of it in action. See? Even more damage. And in certain conditions, you can kill crabs in fewer hits than ever before. Like, I killed this crab in 2 hits. That's pretty fast. So we'll talk about how to dig efficiently. You want to dig in a pattern in a small area. You want to dig with a wall that is to your right or below you. And the wall will help you keep your pattern, and the side of the wall, like what direction it's in, will determine if you get crab shells, because it spawns at a certain place, up and to the left. So if there's a wall there, you won't get any crab shells at all, it won't drop. And always remember to pick up your shells when you get a good amount. Use a high-powered weapon, because those examples I showed you. And make the most of the purple aura when you get it, and always dig with Death Revive. Because healing is slow, and food's expensive. Now here's a bad example of digging. When you dig all over the place, you gotta go around and grab all your shells, and people can just steal them in the meantime. And it takes forever. Even if it's not that bad, you still want to keep that in mind. Now here's optimal digging. This is what you want to do. See, a small perfect line, and there's space for crab shells to drop. See, it works good. Now, there's also a debate of whether you should dig in a safe zone or a PK zone. In the safe zones, you don't have to worry about dying from other players, but there's usually a lot of players there, so it's pretty laggy, and people are digging close to each other. And you shouldn't dig close to other people because the crabs can attack you and other people and all that chaos. You gotta watch out for shell thieves. Try to be considerate with the people around you, because you might start fights, like if you're that guy who takes up a huge area to dig and just inconveniences everyone, or the guy who digs up a crab and runs and throws it at people. You don't want to be that guy. And if worse comes to worse and you need to fight, you can lure crabs on people or use confusion gas. Don't use poison, because that can actually help people dig because they're slower. It means they can dig more one way before having to go back the other way because they're slower. Now, PK zones, you're usually in a quieter place, but you can get killed by people there. So yeah, hide in a good spot if you can, or have some backup. And I'd say to have a good gun with you, because you could fight if need be, or you could scare people off. You know, if I pull out a minigun, somebody with an AK is probably gonna run far. But yeah. And try not to get in fights, because that just takes away from your digging. You don't want to inconvenience yourself there. If they won't stop fighting, just run away, find a new spot. And you should really grab your shells before you get into a fight, because somebody could just kill you and take them. Now here's a few tips on digging. If you say show shells, then it'll tell you how many shells you dug up so far on that account. Now you can remember how many you dug up in a day by, say, like if you have 10,200 and then you dig a while and you're at 10,400, that means you dug up 200. Easy math. And try not to think about how many shells you have or goals or anything like that. Just dig. The more you think about it, the slower it's going to seem. And you should buy your shovels with your Troja shells, because it's a lot cheaper than the alternative. Whenever you get Death Revive from the freebie, you should use it for digging. I mean, why not? And you could pick up trash and mushrooms while you dig, so you make a little bit of extra cash on the side. And try not to dig with bad lag, because the crabs will just destroy you. If you have a tiny bit of lag, you know, fine, but, you know, watch yourself. Here's a little trick from the old days. You know how you can just get crabs and throw them at people and, you know, watch them suffer? That's great and all, but I thought of a better idea. If you're on an island or you want to protect a place, you could just lure crabs around to camp out and sit in one spot. So you can make like a whole army of bodyguards to protect you. And it actually works out pretty well. The only downside is that they die after about 10 minutes, but it's still good coverage. And it's just fun to watch people get hit by them too, like that. And they can attack in the water too. You just gotta be careful that you don't throw too many out there and that they can come back and get you. But if you're careful about it, it'll work. I mean, ideally you want to cover the whole island, but this is just an example. And the better you are at leading them, the more you can fit in. Well, that's all for this guide. I hope it helps out a lot of people. Alright, see ya.